Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
Not bad, not bad. I've lost my gallery view. Won't let me go to gallery. I don't know what I've done wrong.
How are you?
Not bad. I'm trying to do bits and pieces, little crafts. I was trying to do
Cool.
one of you, but I found that the most problematic. I'll
Keep
show
me busy.
you. I'll show you what I've done for Liz. Where is it? I don't know if you can see it on the camera.
Ha! Is that list?
Yes.
Is that just a piece of wood? Is that a piece of wood?
That's like, remember the things I brought you?
Yes, I do.
It's sliced.
How do you do that? What did you do? How do you, is that printing? Is that?
Yeah, you use a laser printer.
Oh, interesting.
And
Wow.
laser printer and this stuff.
Mod Podge.
It's like,
What is that stuff?
it's like PVA. I think it is PVA based. But it dries clear, so that's the main. Doesn't say what it's based on. Made in the USA. Yeah, yours gave me. I tried to do you and Rory with that cartoon.
Oh yeah! Wow.
But it didn't work out, so I ended up sticking the paper on because I wasn't
Fantastic,
pleased.
though. The one of List looks fantastic. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
This is what this Mike's just turned up.
Ah, fantastic.
That's on a piece of branch from my neighbor's tree.
Oh, wow. So how have you done that?
See if you notice this as well. What do you read?
I can read We Love You.
Right. See the curly thing at the side?
Yes.
That's a letter. If you see that as an S, and this can be interpreted as an N. O. So if you read, yeah.
That's a stretch, man. Hi, Mike. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you very much. Good to see you. It's been years since I've seen you. How are you?
Doing good. We had a surprise visit from Katie and Nick earlier today, and they brought us like little biscuits and truffles. And, I hadn't posted their postcard yet, so I handed over their postcard. They were standing in our close. Obviously, we didn't let them into the flat or anything, but like, yeah, it was really nice and surprising to like see them today, and it was really lovely.
That's so wonderful.
So were they your Secret Santa?
No, just some kind people who live in Glasgow.
That's so lovely. Yeah. So have you got the biscuits on display there?
Oh, these are going to be demolished very soon, but like, here they are. Made by Katie.
Homemade biscuits. Wow, it's even better.
Yes, they're like, I can't remember the name for them, but they're like gingerbread, but with pepper.
Okay. What's that taste like?
Oh, that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. Like, really, really good. We also have some mulled wine truffles waiting for us in the fridge. So we've downloaded Holiday Inn, and we'll be watching that after this. Proper Christmas night.
Oh, that's lovely. Hey, Bina. Hey, Andrade. Hey, Andrada. Hey, Robert.
Hello.
How are you all?
All right.
Good.
Fabulous.
spent a lot of time outside today, which,
Oh, yeah.
although the weather was awful, was really nice.
Oh, where did you get to? Hey, Rory.
We went for a socially distanced walk with Alan's uncle, who lives over in Edinburgh. So you can travel to do outdoor things. So we went like south of Edinburgh to there's like woods where his wife is now buried,
Okay.
which was a bit sad, but also really nice. Like woodlands as cemeteries is like way nicer than cemeteries as cemeteries. And then we walked to the coast and like walked along the beach, and it was all a bit like wild and wet, but it was nice to be outside all day.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Yeah. Did you have any food outside as well?
Just wine gums. Not sure that counts as food.
Wine gums are good. How are you, Andrada? One of your 5 a day, I reckon. There's fruit juices in them.
They are fruit flavored.
Oh.
I think I finished the thing that I mentioned.
Ooh, yay.
Yeah. It's not gone much further than it was before. Because my brain just went, woo.
Oh,
And yeah. But yeah, it's a thing. It might evolve at some point, but it is a thing.
all right, okay. Is this for reading out tonight?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
And I have one more from this book,
Awesome.
and I'm debating another one.
Yeah.
I think it could work.
Yeah, fantastic. Because I know Rory's got one. Kitty, have you got any you'd like to read? Or Rory's got at least one, I should say.
I could find one.
Yeah, yes, please.
I think I've got one.
Yay! Numbers are coming up. Yay! Hey, Ainsley.
That's my book.
I have 4 I could read, but if we don't get
That's
to them
good.
all, that's cool.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bina.
One is very short. It's by A.A. Milne, so it makes up for it. Thank you.
Oh,
You'll find my book. I thought it was here, but it's not. Thomas Transformer ran away from me.
what have you been up to, Rory?
Who was that aimed at, sorry?
I was aimed at Rory, but I'm not sure whether the camera might be frozen. I'm not sure. How are you, Robert?
I'm good. I thought it was just like, that's why I was considering.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sorry, totally. I zoned out. I was just
No worries.
looking for a picture in another window, and I have no object permanence. So, forgot you
It's all right.
existed, Michael. I'm sorry.
That's no worries. It's all good.
You were banished to the void.
No one exists when they're not in the room.
I loved your thing on Facebook about the Father Christmas with the bazooka. That's really cool.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait. I've written both a prologue and an epilogue for the game in like a pastiche of the night before Christmas.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Nice.
It's going to be very stupid.
When's
you
it
got one-
happening?
I've loved everyone's characters that they've pitched as well.
Yeah, that's cool. So who've? Well, actually, no. Don't tell us who you've got, but you've got enough characters.
I think we've got definitely. I'd welcome more, not least because then I can plagiarize for NPCs and get people to jump in.
When is it?
The 24th, so it's literally on Christmas Eve.
Oh, Christmas Eve. Wow. Okay. Okay.
So so I don't know how many people will be available, but if there's enough to play, and then people can always see it in the catch up.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'd be down for an NPC role.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Good stuff. Do we have a Katie and a Nick coming today? Do we know?
Don't know.
Right,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Great. Hey, fantastic. Well, I guess by Storytime rules, we're about starting now, I think. So thank you, everyone. So we've had Andrada's got a couple, Rory's got one, Kitty's got one, Bina's got maybe 4. I've got a few. Anybody else fancy reading?
got one.
anything? Oh, fantastic, Ainsley. Thank you.
To clarify, I've decided I have
Considered
3.
it on topic, but I've been looking for a reason for it. So
Andrada's got 3. Okay, yeah, cool. How many do you have, Ainsley?
just the one.
Fabulous.
I may come up with others.
Cool.
I'm that kind of girl,
Yeah, sure.
but just the one.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, welcome everyone, and hello to a kitten. Hello to a cat as well. We've got. Hey, how you doing? All right. That's a fantastic play post you got there.
2 cats.
2 cats?
2 of them.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
They're hanging on the wall there.
Yeah.
You're looking for scissors?
Oh, so who would like to start us off?
I had that kind of setup to lounge around on at home. Like a multi-level thing to sprawl and drag.
This looks cool. Hey, Emily, you're just in time. Just in time. We're just about.
Oh yeah,
to
I've been
start.
like around and listening. I'm just like, oh good, they're
okay.
about to start. Perfect time.
Yay.
I've been shifting furniture around. I'm in the. Do I exist in the room that has half the amount of furniture I wanted to, or the room that has too much furniture?
Oh, that sounds like a puzzle. Are you moving house, or what's going on?
No, we're just changing our furniture around. My dad decided that he was going to build us a bookshelf with scrap wood, which is really exciting. It's going to be like a pretty big bookshelf.
Yay.
Yeah, sounds epic.
So we're gonna shift some things around, but I didn't think he realized like, oh yeah, no, within like 4 days I'm gonna have this done. The day before we talked about like dimensions and stuff like that, and then I got a call from my mom being like, so Dad wants to bring it by at 4 today, and I was like, that's in an hour and a half. Can we do tomorrow?
Yeah.
So that's
Fantastic.
But yeah, I have some poems. I have one, at least one that's very much more on the like emotional reflection, very loose side. That's a little more heavy. Most of mine are more on the light side. So
Okay.
yeah.
Fabulous. Well,
So
I think
for ordering folks.
fantastic. Okay. Well, I guess same as usual. We'll start off kind of light and cuddly, then we'll go into a bit deeper, then we'll bring it back and have multiple colours at the end. I think that works. So who's got a nice light one to start us off?
Do the
Andrada.
tiny AA Milne one. But Andrada, you go there.
Yeah, we'll go Andrada, then we'll have
Either
AA Milne after.
works. Okay. So, you know, silly and light-hearted in true me fashion. It's called I Did I? Left is right, right is left. Not quite the image you'd expect. Maybe it's weathered, maybe it's blue. How would you know that's the true you? This one shimmers, that one flows. Bigger on the top or heavy on the lows. Through rose-colored glasses in the harsh light. Early in the morning or middle of the night. There are countless variations from the perfect expectations that you set for yourself every day because society says this is the way. But we don't always meet them. Mistakes, we will repeat them. Embrace the wrongs and gain some insight from the place where right is left and left is right.
Thank you very much. That was lovely.
Brownie points for whoever gets the reference in there.
Is it related to Feet of Clay?
No, it's a very... I mean, if you watch The Mandalorian, you'll get it.
I haven't seen that. Is it good? Is it worth a watch?
Oh,
It's probably the reason I would get Disney Plus.
absolutely.
Okay. That and Hamilton.
I mean, if you like Star Wars and cute little cuddly things, then
Cute little baby Yodas.
Heck yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Hey, fabulous. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, Bina, I'm all ready for the AML.
Okay. It's just a very little one.
Yay.
It's called The Mirror. Between the woods, the afternoon is fallen in a golden swoon. The sun looks down from quiet skies to where a quiet water lies, and silent trees stoop down to trees. And there I saw a white swan make another white swan in the lake, and breast to breast, both motionless, they waited for the wind's caress, and all the water was at ease. There's a picture of a swan.
Oh, that's so lovely, Bina. Thank you. Oh, that's fabulous. Does anyone have any more light stuff, or do you want to start going into the other stuff?
I do have other light stuff, but one of them is something I wrote, which I wanted to wait a little bit for, and the other is the one that inspired that, and I want to read that afterwards because I like hers better than mine.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll save that one for right at the end, and then we'll do yours somewhere in the middle, maybe. That works. Fabulous. Okay. Ainsley or Rory, do you fancy? Because I haven't read yours, Rory, actually. So thank you for telling me what it is, but I didn't get a chance to read it.
Sure. Ainsley, do you want to go first, or should I jump in, or what would you like? Okay.
No, you go ahead. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Mike, just so you know, I found one. It's depressing.
Okay,
Hooray!
thank you. Thanks for the warning. Okay.
Because I am who I am as a person.
Oh, bless you.
Okay, so I took the liberty of putting an image in the chat, which I am gonna send out now. And so this poem is by James Galvin, and it's called Hematite Lake, which is a lake in Colorado near where he lives. And yeah, there's a picture there, which if you want, you can like open it up and just kind of gaze at it while I read, or not, whatever. But I think it looks really pretty, and like, I don't know, it really grounded me in the poem. Anyway. Hematite Lake. There is another kind of sleep. We're talking in it now. As children, we walked in it a mile to school, and dreamed, we dreamed, we dreamed. By way of analogy, consider nightfall. In relation to the night we have, consider it final. Still falling from the night before, with ourselves inside it, like ore in the igneous dark. So I went for a walk around Hematite Lake to watch the small deer they call fallow deer, dreamed to life by sleeping fields. Someone had taken the water, don't ask me who. The wild swans were still there, being beautiful, and the geese lay down in the grass to sleep. The shallows, now dry, were peopled with lilies. Their poor, enormous heads reeled in the aquatic air. The path was drifted in with gossamer from the tree spider's nightly descent. A monumental feather the geese flew over. What happens is nothing happens. What happens is we fall so far into a sleep so manifold, not even nightfall, whose gold we are, can find us. Yeah.
That's really cool. Really like that. And just beautifully read as well. Really like that.
Thank you.
So, do we want to go a little depressing for a bit and then crawl ourselves back up?
Sure, yeah. I think Ainsley's got one ready.
I think this one might go well after that one.
Yeah, cool.
This is Thomas Transtromer's Vermeer. No protected world. Just behind the wall, the noise begins. The inn, with laughter and bickering, rows of teeth, tears, and the din of bells, and the insane brother-in-law, the death-bringer we almost tremble for. A big explosion, and the tramp of a rescue arriving late, the boats preening themselves on the straits, the money creeping down in the wrong man's pocket. Demands stacked on demands, gaping red flower heads, sweating premonitions of war. And through the wall, into the clear studio, into the second that's allowed to live for centuries. Pictures that call themselves the music lesson, or the woman in blue reading a letter. She's in her 8th month, 2 hearts kicking inside her. On the wall behind us is a wrinkled map of terra incognita. Breathe calmly. An unknown blue material is nailed to the chairs. The gold studs flew in with the incredible speed and stopped abruptly, as if they had never been other than stillness. Ears sing from depth or height, and the pressure from the other side of the wall. It makes each fact float and steadies the brush. It hurts to go through walls. It makes you ill, but it's necessary. The world is one, but walls, and the wall is part of yourself. We know or we don't know, but it's true for us all. Except for small children, no walls for them. The clear sky has leaned itself against the wall. It's like a prayer to the emptiness. And the emptiness turns its face to us and whispers, I am not empty, I am open.
Oh, thank you, Ainsley.
It was rad. That was really good.
I adore that poem.
It's really
But
good.
it's,
Who was
and I
that
don't
by?
know why I thought of it for reflection, because actually reading it now, which the first time I read it in a few weeks, I was like, huh, there's actually nothing about reflection, but it is about like Vermeer's use of camera obscuras. So there is kind of reflection and projection there. But I really thought that it was more about reflection than it was.
Fab. So I know I said you go next, but I've got one that's related to walls, and there's a lot of wall things in that, if that's okay. So I'll jump in with my walls. It's called Scaffolding by Seamus Heaney. I'm probably saying the surname wrong, but there we go. Okay. Masons, when they start upon a building, are careful to test out the scaffolding. Make sure that the planks won't slip at busy points, secure all ladders, tighten bolted joints. And yes, all this comes down when the job's done, showing off walls of sure and solid stone. So if, my dear, there sometimes seems to be old bridges breaking between you and me, never fear. We may let scaffolds fall, confident that we have built our wall. Okay, you then.
Yeah, I love that. Seamus Heaney is amazing. It's Seamus Heaney.
Oh, thank you.
Like that
Thanks.
one.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, actually, I feel like somebody else should go next because mine might be too depressing to jump into right after that. A little political, but it's one that I think that a lot of femme folk can relate to. So maybe if someone's got like a middle ground depressing before we go real dark for anyone who's up for listening to it.
I have one about nature and one about mistakes.
Kitty, where does yours rate on the spectrum?
That's Sylvia Plath.
Oh. Oh.
It was actually not that bad for a Sylvia Plath.
Okay.
It's up to you, Andrada or Kitty. Not sure.
Should we fight for it?
Fight.
I'll go first and then
Yeah,
you guys.
you go, Kitty. Thanks.
That's cool. About 10 views. You ruined my life.
Are you sitting comfortably? You dick. Okay. The mirror. I am silver and exact. I have no preconceptions. Whatever I see, I swallow immediately, just as it is, unmisted by love or dislike. I am not cruel, only truthful. The eye of a little god, four-cornered. Most of the time I meditate on the opposite wall. It is pink with speckles. I have looked at it so long I think it is part of my heart. But it flickers. Faces and darkness separate us over and over. Now I am a lake. A woman bends over me, searching my reaches for what she really is. Then she turns to those liars, the candles or the moon. I see her back and reflect it faithfully. She rewards me with tears and an agitation of hands. I am important to her. She comes and goes. Each morning it is her face that replaces the darkness. In me, she has drowned a young girl, and in me, an old woman. Rises towards her day after day, like a terrible fish.
A terrible fish.
It's really good.
Terrible
really
fish.
good.
We are all terrible fish, just developing.
I thought it was going quite nicely until they mentioned the drowned children. I thought, well, that dropped it down a few levels.
I mean, the drowned child was her reflection.
Oh,
just
okay.
what she used to be.
Yeah.
The passage of time, and the old lady is the fish because that's who she's becoming. So, doesn't actually involve the death of any children.
Good. Okay.
Sylvia Plath!
Yay.
I was clearly taking it too
Yes.
literally. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. So I'm going to read finally one of the devastating ones from Drive Here and Devastated by Megan Pally. Content warning, this poem does have mentions of rape and mentions of political situations from a number of years ago.
There's a bit of an
Is anyone
echo.
else getting an echo?
Should we all mute except for him?
Cool. Is this any better? Yeah, cool. It also mentions politics from a few years ago. So it's called The Man Interrupts What I'm Saying About Sexism to Explain It to Me. And with that title, I think a lot of folks get why I'm like, yeah. And I let him. He's one of the good guys, I remind myself, tightening the corset on my tongue. He uses the word heteropatriarchy, and for a moment, I want to bake him a cake, rub his tired man feet. I want to apron him. What makes someone a good guy? A good guy never says bitch. A good guy is someone you ask to drive your sister home and barely flinch. Good guy. But no one ever says good woman. This weekend, men's rights activists organized 165 meetups in 43 countries trying to legalize rape as if that's not already a thing. Some women call it terrorism. Some women call it the weather report and walk back outside. I wonder why I can't pass a white van without regretting the last thing I said to my mother and swallowing hard. A good guy is talking over me as he speaks about all the ways he's witnessed gender inequality. He's pretty. He makes it sound pretty. I want to be pretty too. So I'm quiet as a curtsy. This man has read more than me. I wonder if his bookshelf alone has gotten him laid. He looks like the men in serial killer documentaries, the ones my mother calls handsome and wholesome and what a shame. But he's not a men's rights activist. He's not a ski mask or a bitter virgin or stranger in a bar. He would have voted for my right to speak. So how much of my silence do I own in a world where women's deaths aren't headlines? Their tombstones rot on page 7, and they only get names if they're white. Knowing if I'm silent, they can't find me, but I'm still dead. The men's rights activists fight for rape on a private property to be fair ground. Consent only needs a roof. Your body unbecomes your body. Someone has a key to anywhere. A good guy is not dangerous. He's appalled by men's rights activists. If I showed him all the space he was taking up in that moment, he probably would have said, "Thank you." But I decided my voice box was someone else's to open. Ballerina inside it dancing for someone else's song. I hear the term, good girl, and cross my legs out of habit. Never burp, don't speak out of turn. I feel a giant hand patting me on the head a bit too hard. What would it mean to have been a good woman in that moment? Who was more of the misogynist then? Him speaking over me, or me shoving the gag in my own mouth. My silence was centuries old. My body a safe house for all the women in my bloodline who died quiet and afraid. I have hidden inside my own skeleton because deep down in the grave of history, what woman can believe she is safe? But what is the responsibility once I know where all the exits are? When I could, without danger, get the words out, listen, do you realize the irony of talking to me about sexism while you continually cut me off? Because I'm realizing the irony of calling myself a feminist while letting you, while holding my tongue like flowers or a dead girl's grave.
Fuck.
Who wrote that?
Megan Falley. And I don't know who hasn't had a moment where some dude's been talking about feminism over them, or where some dude's talking about it, and you're like, oh my God, there are like 10 not dudes trying to talk about this right now. And I don't know if I have the energy to fucking say something or not. So yeah, it's very much an emotionally reflective moment I relate to heavily.
Thanks. Ed. Very powerful, that one.
I could read you a nice one after that if you want.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the one I've written after. Very different. Yeah. That'll be nice.
Fabulous.
The later in the same book, she has a section where she writes a love poem to herself. I was like, oh, fuck, that sounds like a great and terrible exercise in mental health. So I decided to try it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
And it doesn't well yet, so this is my version.
Yeah.
They tend to surf the waves of emotions, enthralled in unexpected ways to feel. I know they've seen their reflection, but I'm not sure it was ever for long enough that they noticed the beauty in their gender-fucked fantasticness before following the water to the next glimmer of adventure. They're someone who loves people for the adventure and art that they are, cherishing the layers upon layers of refinement that led them to growing into this masterpiece before their eyes. Someone who extends empathy as if their arms could endlessly hold others without falling off. Have you ever met someone so unapologetically, awkwardly endearing? You should have seen them shaking while reading that first love poem, and how their face turned to sun showers when, through tear-streaked eyes and candy apple cheeks, she, who had no idea their creative side, had felt stuck in stasis, imprisoned by their past, had said, I didn't expect it to be so beautiful. They nearly sobbed, as if it made sense for them to create anything less than beautiful, as if the earth doesn't tremble when they sing, as if they couldn't make everything they look at seem suddenly fascinating. When they smile, the corners of their eyes scrunch up like the sweetest candy wrapper, and if you tell them, they'll tell you it's because your reflection is what's sitting at the center. They'll tell you to close your eyes. Imagine the heat of a shower pouring down your back as the warmth of their words washes over you. Then to imagine your fingers wrapping around, pressing, and working their way into an orange, heel falling to the basin, brightness filling the air. The brightness of their voice as it leads you to wrap your mouth around a slice and bite so succulent it drips down your lips, washing away with the water. They become enamored with sensory experiences, and they draw you in like a doodle on their meticulously messy, color-coded planner, which you can't help but hope some part of you worked your way into, if only to know that when they wrote down your name, their fingers were gliding just above you. They love to plan because they want to do everything. They want to remember everything. They want to know the ever impossible everything. Their lips spit questions and theories so hard and fast, my brain can hardly think beyond, oh my God, before there's another handful of ideas on the table. Their mind loves to swim, even when they drift in and out of sweet and sour uncertainty and self-love poetry that they feel the need to pretend was written about somebody else that may always feel to them like it needs more salt. So they walk deeper into the sea, into that sweet uncertainty, guiding their insecurities, hand in hand, towards their fears, lovingly, to show them they're wrong.
Holy shit.
I will say that last line is something that Elle wrote, and I stole those words.
I love that line about it needs more salt. So we'll get to the sea.
That was beautiful.
Thank you, Anne.
Thanks. It's weird. I don't feel like I wrote it about me. I was trying to think of if I was writing about somebody else and I wasn't me, if that makes sense. And that made it a lot easier, but holy shit, that was a hard thing for my brain to do.
Okay.
Thanks, y'all. Love
Yeah.
you.
And welcome back, Vina. I think we lost Vina for a few seconds there.
My internet had a wobble.
Oh dear.
I
Goodness.
think Alan is on Zwift and streaming, and I've got a video call going, and our internet is having a hard time.
Oh dear. Oh, what's Swift? I've not heard of that.
It connects to his bike thing that turns his bike into like a static bike, and then you can ride up hills, and you're doing what the screen is on.
Oh, okay, okay. That's clever. Cool. Oh.
Some kind of exercisey cycling
Yeah.
computer game
Video game
thing.
thing. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, now we've got you back. Would you like a poem, or do you need a few more minutes to?
No, I
think of
can
that
do
connected
one.
world? Cool.
Do you want a slightly silly one about like what happens when you turn memories into stories?
Oh, that sounds beautiful. That sounds wonderful. Do we have any more slightly darker ones we want to get out of the way? Not get out of the way first, but you know what I mean.
I don't know. I've also got a Liz Lockhead one that's a bit about sometimes the difficult relationship with mirrors.
I think you mispronounced a surname there. You didn't mean Berry.
No, sorry, darling.
Oh.
No Liz Berry today.
Oh.
But Liz Lockhead is also good.
Okay. I'll trust you.
You want that one?
They both sound amazing. Yes, please, to both those things.
So this is from the Choosing, and it's called Mirror's Song. Smash me, looking glass, glass coffin. The one that keeps your best black self on ice. Smash me, she'll smash back. Without you, she can't lift a finger. Smash me, she'll whirl out like Callie, trashing the alligator man-trap handbags with her righteous karate. The ash can for the stubbed lipsticks and the lipsticked butts, the wet lettuce of fivers. She'll spill the Kleenex blossoms, the tissues of lies, the matted nests of hair from the brushes, hedgehog spikes. She'll junk the dead mice and the tampons, the twinkling single eyes of winkled out diamante, the hat pins, the whalebone and the lycra, the apple blossom and the underwires, the chafing iron that kept the maiden, the Valium and initialed hankies, the love pulps and the Librium, the permanents and panstick and Coty and Tangy indeligible, the lidomide and junk jewelry. Smash me for your daughters and dead mothers, for the widowed spinsters of the first and every war. Let her rip up the appointment cards for the terrible clinics, the Greenham summonses, the date they've handed us. Let her rip
She'll crumple all the tracts and the adverts, shred all the wedding dresses, snap all the spike heel icicles in the cave she will claw out of. A woman giving birth to herself.
That's so lovely.
Liz Luckhead is a good one.
Okay, I'll add them to my list. Oh. So what collection was that from?
A choosing, which is a sort of selected poems.
Okay.
So it's a mixture of things. I feel like we've had things from it before, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Did we have Dreaming Frankenstein? Were you here for that?
We definitely did one on dreams. Yeah. Yeah, it must have been there. Yeah. Cool.
I think I remember Dreaming Frankenstein.
And for my grandmother knitting, it's from this collection as well.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. Andrada, did you have one? Or a few?
I think the one, the mistake might work at this point.
Fabulous.
It's written by James Fenton. With the mistake, your life goes in reverse. Now you can see exactly what you did wrong yesterday and wrong the day before, and each mistake leads back to something worse, and every nuance of your hypocrisy towards yourself and every excuse stands solidly on the perspective lines, and there is perfect visibility. What an enlightenment! The colonnade rolls past on either side. You needn't move. The statues of your errors brush your sleeve. You watch the tale turn back, and you're dismayed. And this dismay at this big mistake is made worse by the sight of all those who knew all along where these mistakes would lead. Those frozen friends who watched the crisis break. Why didn't they say? Oh, but they did indeed. Said with a murmur when the time was wrong, or by a mild refusal to assent, or told you plainly, but you would not heed. Yes, you can hear them now. It hurts. It's worse than any sneer from any enemy. Take this dismay. Lay claim to this mistake. Look straight along the lines of this reverse.
I like that one.
So glad you read that one.
I really like the start as well. That's cool.
I really like that.
I've got one on time passing, so kind of related maybe. So this is by Joy. I'm going to get the name wrong here. Joy Layden. Yeah, time passes. Time too is afraid of passing. It's riddled with holes through which time feels itself leaking. Time sweats in the middle of the night when all of the dimensions are sleeping. Time has lost every picture of itself as a child. Now time is old, leathery and slow. Can't sneak up on anyone anymore. Can't hide in the grass, can't run, can't catch. Can't figure out how not to trample what it means to bless. I've just noticed Al's hair as well, looking awesome. Did you do that yourself?
I went full Furiosa earlier. I actually shaved it all off.
It's a brave move.
I'm bored with it now. I'm waiting for it to come back now.
I wish I had clippers, but also I'd probably have done the same thing by now, so it's probably good.
I actually didn't use clippers. I actually cut my head like 4 different spots because I used a razor.
No way.
It's so hard.
Ouch.
I was desperate. I don't know. I really needed it out, you know.
Wow.
Things you do when you're manic, you know.
Oh. Oh. Bina, did you have any more? I can't remember who's got. I think Bina's maybe got one or two, and Andrada's got one or two. Oh, and Em's got one as well. Great, fab, thanks.
Do the sort of memory one, I think, which would follow on from that.
Yeah, lovely, thanks.
It's called "This Is a True Story" by Sarah Stewart. I would not marry into that house. I couldn't condemn my unconceived children to their strange bloodline, oddly shaped ears, a mad uncle, small boys packed off to Eton, and an imperious matriarch reigning over the tea table. God, the mother loved to bake. I was suspicious of her flirtation with domesticity, seen as they had staff, but she was a pro. With the first incision, opening up Victoria's sponge like a neurosurgeon. And she'd wave that knife in the air if she disliked the conversation. I marveled at their gift for turning near miss into legend. He almost rode for Oxford, you know. Giles practically climbed Everest in '92. Years later, I found a photo of us, frozen for the camera, at a table covered with sugar. I told the story to so many, this crazy rich family, that I could barely recall how much of it was theirs and how much mine. I confess, matriarch held no scalpel in the shot. The light was kind, the cakes appeared delicious, and all their ears looked fine.
That's wonderful. Yay for cake.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
for
took away
ears.
from that, yay for cake.
Yep, pretty much.
For ears.
I just switched off after I had cake. Yeah. That's really lovely. So I was going to ask Em, but I think they've disappeared.
I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
Okay, cool. Fab. Andrada? Do you have another? I have one more.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. But it's kind of about nature, and I don't know if it follows just
Well,
yet.
Okay. Well, I've got one that isn't about nature, so give that a try. It's called What I'm Looking For by Maureen N. McLean. No relation to John McLean. It's called What I'm Looking For. What I'm looking for is an unmarked door we'll walk through, and there, whatever we'd wish for, beyond the door. What I'm looking for is a golden bowl, carefully repaired, a complete world sealed along cracked lines. What I'm looking for may not be there. What you're looking for may not be me. I'm listening for the return of that sound I heard in the woods just now, that silvery sound that seemed to call not only to me. Okay. It feels like there should be an extra line on the end of that, but maybe I'm just reading it wrong. Who knows?
I actually kind of like that. I know, it feels very open. Did you want me to read the other one next? Or Andy, do you want to go next?
What's your other one about?
It's the Megan Falley one. That's the self-portrait as someone to love. That inspired mine.
Ooh. Can I do this one first and then you do that one? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
This is called The Moment by Margaret Atwood. The moment when, after many years of hard work and a long voyage, you stand in the center of your room, house, half-acre, square mile, island, country, knowing at last how you got there, and say, I own this. is the same moment when the trees unloose their soft arms from around you. The birds take back their language. The cliffs fissure and collapse. The air moves back from you like a wave and you can't breathe. No, they whisper. You own nothing. You are a visitor, time after time, climbing the hill, planting the flag, proclaiming, we never belonged to you. You never found us. It was always the other way around.
Oh.
I thought that was relatable in terms of reconnecting with nature this year. Well, this pandemic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's crazy how much outdoor woodland walking I've done compared to like the rest of my life up until the past 6 months. Yeah, it's really lovely. Okay, I'm not sure.
So this is Self-Portrait of Someone to Love by Megan Falley. All she knows about sports is that she weeps at the sight of an empty baseball stadium at night. She doesn't even know she's doing something beautiful. Just sings in your shower and fills it with girl smell. I find her bobby pins everywhere. I don't even mind her hair in the drain because it reminds me of the singing. The way she hums while grinding, coffee, her precision with the cream, how everyone says she makes the best cup of caffeine they ever had, patron saint of the French press. How does she do it? How does she make every mix CD feel like a love letter written only for you, exactly as you are? And what about that camera? How she takes a picture of everything she thinks is beautiful. And God, if she takes your picture, you know that you are. She loves even her friends, like works of art. And remember that one morning, the kitchen was beige and she thought, why not pink? And she paid that room compliments until it blushed. You should have seen her climbing on top of the refrigerator with her paintbrush. You should have seen her rescuing all those dogs. The way she looks when she's making lists, and she's always making lists. The way her day is ruined unless she's drawing a smart line through a task. How you want to put your name on her to-do list to know what it feels like when she crosses you off. The way she keeps a picnic blanket in her trunk or cleans out her wallet when she's angry. Puts on a living room show for anyone who will pay attention. And her heart. And how she laughed even though he was kind. Even though all their books and teacups were married, she wanted more. So she gave up most of what she had. Have you ever seen a scared girl so brave, so okay to be terrified? How she slammed on her steering wheel, red with grief, as she pulled away from that cozy life and still knew it was right. How she will keep every birthday card, every morning note left on her nightstand or in her suitcase. How she will pull them out to remember she was beautiful. How she had to write all this herself, as if someone else was seeing her to understand that she could be loved. And even the doubt of gorgeous.
Oh, thank you, Em. So lovely. Yeah. So sweet. That's really cool. It inspired you as well. That's nice.
That was lovely.
I may be biased, but I think yours was better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yours is epic.
I think it was also very different too. Like I wanted to be inspired by it, but not completely copy her format. And I had a hard time thinking of things because I related to so much of what she wrote, especially the thing about the lists. Oh my God, the lists, they're everywhere. Fun fact, if you leave a whiteboard marker by a window, you can make a list on a window or a mirror if you really want to and need to make a list and don't have anywhere to write shit down.
Does it wipe off?
Or the fridge.
Yeah.
Fridge.
Or the fridge. We used to leave each other messages on the fridge when I lived with people.
Oh.
It makes me wish my fridge wasn't black and clear.
Chalk markers.
Oh, bummer. Chalk markers?
Yeah, true.
They're
I
like
do
what-
also have more than one whiteboard on my fridge right now. I have like one where I write what I make, what day of the week, so that I know when to throw leftovers out and when things are going bad, and
That's
one
cool.
for actually organizing my week and stuff. Anyways, ADHD, man, it's wild. Lists everywhere.
That sounds good.
Plans and lists and plans.
I made
That's
a
good.
calendar in the kitchen specifically for food.
That's also a very good idea.
Yeah. Andrea,
Stops
did you
me
have?
from going to the shop and going, oh, I think I need this. No, I don't.
Oh, so Bina's had to drop out. Her connection's dropped, so we'll give a bit of a wave to Bina.
Oh no.
Thanks to Bina. Mm.
No.
So Andrade, I think you have one more, and then that could be it. I think anyone else got any more? Anyone?
No, that was it.
Well, that was it. Fabulous. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Em. I didn't realize you were closing us up. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you so much.
That was a really great session, Mike. Thank you for that idea. Reflections,
Bless you.
such a great topic.
Oh, thanks. Cool. No, thank you all so much for coming and reading all your wonderful words. It's been fabulous. Thank you. So, yeah,
I'm sorry I joined so late.
That's all right, mate. We'll crack on with.
Connected.
Oh, bless you. Okay. We'll do a quick shout out to the catch up crew. Thank you, everyone. And big hugs to the catch up crew. And see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.